Welcome back, guys. My name is Demitry Sebastian.
And I'm Wes Kendall.
And we are back in session where your fitness and lifestyle questions are answered and bro science is put to the test. We can't really do a cut anymore.
I know. Now we're gonna have to figure out some type of camera procedure now.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Something out. Well, welcome back. And for the people who are new on YouTube, we're now figuring out how to do video with the podcast. We're excited about this.
Yeah.
It's incredibly awkward. We've got a bunch of lights set up in front of us. We were supposed to have a different backdrop, but,
I feel like one of those, beauty models that goes in there and, all the lights in their face and, all the attention, stuff like that. So,
oh, yeah.
I don't know.
You're looking very handsome, El. We look great because of the lights.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Do I look at you? Do I look at the camera? What's the procedure here?
Exactly. That's the whole thing here. But we're going to go ahead and keep things pretty much how we normally do. You'll still be able to access this on the podcast, obviously, everything you've been doing. But if you decide you want to look at us, we're going to be updating the equipment as we go along. So Thankfully, we've set a really low bar with the first one.
We have, and I mean, it can only get better. And we're going to, try some different things out. I think it'll be fun.
I think it'll be very fun. So we'll go ahead and roll into this. We're going to do two segments. We're probably going to roll into one, but we're going to go ahead and break them into two for now. We'll go ahead and just go and open it up with the wins and losses for the week. Yeah. My win is just this. This is my day was there's a hanging light above us. I bashed my head against a couple times, but I feel like that brought me my creative energy so that we could do this. And
what happened to Albert Einstein? He hit his head and
exactly. He's smarter
became
now.
A physicist. Excuse me.
Exactly. So essentially, we had this all set up. I was glad to have an apartment where I actually have the space to do this. Mm-hmm. That was it's funny. I think I'll take a picture so that you guys can all see the other side of this. It's a disaster. My apartment right now destroyed everything, but
you're in the process of moving in, yet you created a studio for the podcast.
Exactly.
Pretty dedicated, guys.
Super big win across the board.
It's a good win.
What's your win for the week?
I would say my win for the week is set a new deadlift record for 12 reps.
What'd you do?
So I did 365 for 12. Well, for 13 actually.
13. That's actually a lot.
365.
Didn't you posted a video of that recently, right?
Yes.
I saw you that the guy had a knee brace, and I was like, every time someone's got a knee brace and they're deadlifting, I'm like, that person knows something we don't know. They always lift heavy. They're like RoboCop.
I'm surprised. The dude, he just had knee surgery 6 weeks ago, and he's already deadlifting 300 pounds.
That reminds me of, what was that, West Side Barbell? The guy's like, yeah, I broke my back.
Yeah.
They said I'd never lift again. 4 days later, I went and took a squat, and I'm fine. It's like, I
was bleeding while I was squatting.
That's probably not good, but still rock on, brother. Yeah, dude, that stuff's insane. But no, that's awesome to hear. I mean, we are going to be talking about injuries. Yes. So that's a really good place to start. My L for the week is I decided to not hire cleaners to get out of my old apartment.
Right.
Giant mistake. So I was smart and I hired movers, and I was like, wow, I spent the money, great, whatever.
Easiest thing ever?
Easiest thing ever. I mean, there was you still have to do some stuff, but ultimately it's they're faster, better, smarter at moving things.
Professionals.
They know exactly what they're doing. They were awesome. Camelback Moving. Everyone should go to them. The mistake I made was I was going to get cleaners as well, because I was like, I'm going to be saving money at this new place. And the other, let's go ahead and I'll make that money back pretty quick.
Right.
And I sat on it. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And then I called up a bunch of cleaners. All of them were like, yeah, dude, we can't do it 3 days out. We need you to go a week out. Mm-hmm. I was like, cool. Well, my lease is up in 2 days. So I ended up doing it myself, and it was terrible. I burnt my fingers. Both my fingertips. You can't see them well. But
I could see those.
Yeah, there's blisters on my fingertips because I had some issues with the vinyl. They were dense, and I learned that if you use a hairdryer, you can smooth it out. Oh. Yeah, so you don't think hairdryers is that hot until you put them on one surface for a long time.
And it just melts the fuck out of it?
Well, it's softened, and then you just roll it out. It does. It doesn't damage anything. It's really super smart. So if you have dents in your vinyl, just hairdryer, and then make sure you don't use your fingers like me, because I'm dumb. And then I ended up switching to an actual tool, but it was too late. Damage had been done. So that was my L.
The burnt had been burnt.
The burnt had been burnt, and the lazy had to clean. And then you realize how filthy you are as a person when you have to actually move out of a place. Cat hair everywhere, sand everywhere. I live in Arizona, I get it, but I had to sweep the floor 5 times. Sweep vacuum, sweep, vacuum, do mop. Like, why is there still dirt on the floor? How is this happening?
I know, right? You never like realize, the extent until you move. I know every time I moved, it's like I never threw away more stuff until I move.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am becoming a minimalist quickly. Like, the plan is to stay here for a couple years because both me and my roommate now are just like, we can't do this anymore. Like, let's just hunker down someplace for a minute. Let's not do the move every year thing. I know that's like the millennial freaking rite of passage is move every single year for the rest of your life. But I'd like to be a homeowner at some point, so I'm going to camp out. We'll figure it out when the housing market stops being so crazy.
Yeah. Give it like 2 to 4 more years.
Exactly. Yeah. And you should just move to this apartment complex. It's great.
Me and Nicole already talked about that. We're like,
it's awesome. We're
like, you know what? Maybe we'll just like try and find a place near where we used to live at.
We can be running partners.
Yeah,
you can basically walk down from like whatever side. The pricing is good. I'll tell you all about that after we get off. Yeah. I would highly recommend.
It's definitely on the list. That's
get you linked up with Sammy, the lady who got me set up here.
Oh, do you get a referral bonus or anything?
I'm gonna find out.
You might.
Well, we will go ahead, and I'm not even gonna do the sound bites today. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Maybe I'll do it in post. But we have a couple questions that we want to roll through. Do you have those in front of you right now?
Yep, just pulled them up. We got 3 questions. Thank you guys for your questions as always. Please comment them or just send them to me or Demitry. And then the first one is bodybuilding, like fitness competing, a sport or a pageant?
That's a really good question because people talk a lot of crap on the pageant girls, like, Miss whatever, Miss whatever
Arizona,
state.
Yeah.
But I knew a lot of people who did those pageants, and while they are still laughable, and if I have a daughter, I would really prefer she didn't. Right. Just for like mostly, it's not even like a good reason, just because it costs money, and I would rather her like be really good at like soccer or something. I don't know. But if the daughter was the one to be in pageant, she's in. That she does what she wants.
It's America,
proud, independent. Yeah. But the amount of work, like they first of all, when you do pageants, it's partly a bodybuilding thing. They have the bikini part. Mm-hmm. So especially when we're talking about like adults, like they're all like in amazing shape. They're all like 3 steps away from being a bikini competitor, no matter what.
Yeah, they're all like athletes almost.
Exactly.
Much. Yeah,
and then they all have like a talent. They all are usually really well rounded because they have the question parts. So I would say that you shouldn't talk shit on that because it's hard in its own way. But the question becomes: is the sport the training or the activity?
I personally think that it's the activity. Yeah.
So would that make bodybuilding shows and a pageant?
I personally think that the competitors are athletes because they live their lives as an athlete.
Yeah.
But they compete in a pageant.
Fair. I would agree with that. I think that's super fair because if there was like powerlifting competitions, I'd love someone to tell me that's not a sport.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear their argument. Because you show up, you do a physical activity, then you have the whole argument about like, okay, is some people like, or is golf a sport? I say yes. Yeah. Is chess a sport? It's like, ooh, now you're starting to bring up a weird question. Like, I don't know if I can really agree with it, if it's just a competition or if it's a sport.
Yeah.
Is bowling a sport? I would say yes, because it involves a physical activity.
Yeah.
Like so
bowling or golf, pretty similar. Yeah.
So I would say the course to becoming a bodybuilder is a sport because there's athletes involved, but the culminating event is, for better or worse, a pageant.
Well, yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, they're graded like a pageant. They're not graded on who can, if anything, the only athletic thing that they're graded on is their ability to look a certain way by activating muscles better than other people.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the only way.
It is a stretch. That's the only way I can connect it. Besides that, it's more like this person looks better than that person.
Fair. So basically a pageant.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go and say it's a hybrid, but at the end of the day, if someone says, "Oh, you're a bodybuilder," go to your little pageant, you should feel good knowing that you're still buffer than them. But at the same time, they're a little bit right.
I think they train and the mentality, the training, and of course, like more than probably most sports, the nutrition is more of like an athlete than anything else. So, that's, I do think that there is a difference between being an athlete and then being like a contender. And I think they're definitely on the athlete side.
Yeah, fair. Totally agree. What's the next one?
Next one. Let me pull it up. We have what do we do about elbow and forearm pain?
Suffer.
Yeah. I mean, of course, like we're not professionals medically to be dealing with things like that, but if it's caused from like overuse or from like, in the gym or, like tennis elbow pain, stuff around the joint, then that's usually from like, if you have a physical manual labor job or if you've been doing a lot of like, palms up pulling.
Yeah.
Or like even palm down raising. So those two motions right there do a lot to stress and overuse the smaller extensor and flexor muscles of the forearm and as well as like the triceps. So I think loosening those up with some of the stuff we're going to talk about in the second half or the end of the episode will work pretty well with that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's a hard solution outside of going and talking to a healthcare professional.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what most people find, especially people who are in athletic stuff, a lot of us have heard this when we were younger, especially like, okay, I'm a baseball player. I'm 18 and I'm starting to get, a shit elbow because I'm a pitcher. Right. Then you go to the doctor and they're like, okay, so what you're going to want to do is stop pitching. And it's like, well, that's like my thing. So I'm not going to do that. At the same time, you can go to a physical therapist. Usually there's ones that specialize in athletes.
Right.
So basically the reason they're specialized is not only because of their skill sets and their training that teach them how to do it, but they're going to be the type of person that skips the question of, cool, so we're going to stop throwing now, right?
Yeah.
They already know that answer is no, so they're going to work with you otherwise.
Right. That's a good point.
Remember, like your trainer's gonna be able to help you best they can, and some of them are a lot more knowledgeable than others on that kind of stuff. But nothing's gonna beat like an actual healthcare provider.
Right.
But taking it easy on it, doing stretches, icing. There's about 100 different things you do. But the thing about like forearms is tough because a lot like shin splints.
Yeah.
The answer to shin splints is you can keep running, or you can stop running. Because it's not really damaging until you get like actual like shin fractures.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a type of damage. It's just it's a strain thing. So take a break, and then also a lot of people will realize that eventually you just stop getting them.
Yeah, your body's trying to get stronger and it's not having time to recover because either you're not like stretching it out and relaxing the muscles, or it's just happening too much. You're stressing it out too frequently.
Yeah.
Or both.
And those types of injuries too are not usually very well tied to like nutrition and stuff. So a lot of people will be like, I'm doing everything right. Why does this hurt? It's like, well, it's like the connective tissue between those two little bones in there. Like it's hard for any amount of nutrition to help that.
Right. Just needs time and to be stronger.
Exactly. I when I'm running, I get plantar fasciitis, which literally just means it's a technical term for you got shitty feet. And the only thing I could do is roll out on a ball with my feet to break up the painful parts and just mentally deal with it. At some point in my life, it might become an actual issue. And that's why the doctor part is important, because they'll be the ones to tell you like, okay, cool, I told you to stop running, you ignored me, but now we're at a point where we like actually have to address this as a concept. So have a primary care physician as someone in their 20s. I know it's annoying, but do it. Yeah. What's the next one?
Next one. Why did my body fat percentage go up when I lost muscle mass? So this is a common one I've been getting. Basically, whenever we do like a body scan, and even if the person loses weight, if they drop muscle mass, it negatively affects their body fat percentage. And people are like, what happened? I lost weight. Why did my body fat go up? And it's because it's a ratio. So if you have like a whole pie, a percentage of that pie is muscle, percentage of that is fat. Even if the pie got smaller, the amount of the pie that was one way or the other has changed.
And you kind of got to ask yourself, if you're losing weight and you're losing muscle, that's probably a dietary issue. Like you're not getting enough protein and you're still working out. Although you're me. But you got to ask yourself, what eats the muscle? Or sorry, not the muscle, the fat. What eats fat? Muscles. Right. That's where the fuel is going to your muscle. Your brain takes up a bunch of it. Your immune system, all that stuff is working right now. It's working off the food that you eat. But if you're losing muscle mass, those are the big engines that are eating the fat reserve. So if you have less muscle, then fat has room to come back and build up. That's a big part of why pretty much every diet, no matter what you do, you could be doing any crazy thing. It always involves a pretty high level of protein.
Yeah. at least a maintenance amount.
Exactly. Because if you're losing muscle, the only thing you can do is gain fat, unless you're like if you're in one of those like weird like Jenny Craig diets where it's like, cool, you're going to eat like 1,000 calories a day and do nothing. And it's just like, that's not really healthy.
You'll probably lose muscle anyway.
Exactly. You're basically saying like, I'm going to reduce my weight, period.
Right.
And I don't care how it works, but that's not really, at least here, we don't agree with that as a concept. We don't support that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone should be dieting at 1,200 calories year round anyways, but I think the way that you should look at it is you didn't gain any fat, but the amount of lean tissue and hardness decreased, thus making you have a softer body.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So it's like no fat was added, but you're now a smaller, softer person.
That makes sense. Yeah. So the percent, you're right with the pie. Now it's like finally coming to my mind. It's like, nothing else changed. You lost muscle.
Yeah.
You didn't gain any fat. You're just percentage of the fat that is you is still there.
Higher. Yeah.
Math.
Yeah.
Math. Ratios. Math. I totally did great in statistics. Oh
it's hard. It's a hard thing to comprehend, especially because like people see that they gain body fat, even though they like initially thought that they did good. They're like, I lost weight. That was good. And then they see it's like it came from muscle. They gain body fat and they're like, was expecting to be rewarded and to be successful. But then when they see that, it's like mentally hard to, I guess, process all that at once.
I think we're creating a new type of problem with, whereas everyone got addicted to the scale.
Yes.
Now that body fat scanners are becoming such a commonality, people are getting obsessed with ratios and percentages. So it's like, okay, cool. I get my body fat scanned every month, every other month, what have you. And now people are thinking to themselves, like, I need to always be going in a positive direction. It's like, look, like it's more complicated than that. And we're looking at more of like the course of the year.
Yeah.
No
one loses fat year round.
To scan.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you're losing fat every single time consistently, you're either on a prep for a show, or you might be like a little bit unhealthy in some way. Like, let's kind of like address that as a concept. Like, the concept of being like a cardio bunny has kind of gone out of style because everyone wants to like have like the Kardashian booty now, and they know that they have to lift heavy for that. But there was
pay money.
Or pay money. We would never do that.
Yeah.
Over the course of a long period of time, if you're just losing fat, that's where as a male you start having issues with, your ability to get your reproductive organs working. Yeah. That's where women start seeing that they're no longer going through their regular course of like menstrual cycles.
Yeah.
And if your body stops doing things that it normally does, typically it's not going to end up being the healthiest thing.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who's trying to build can't, be cutting year round. It's like eventually you have to go the other direction. Like I think initially maybe if someone's losing a lot of weight, they will cut for a long period of time. But like the only people who are dieting all year are the people who keep starting their diet over all year, I guess.
I'm feeling very attacked.
Yeah. I'm not trying to. Yeah.
So with that all said, that was the last question, right?
Yes. Last question.
Cool. So we're going to move into the main topic we're going to be talking about. I'm actually just going to go ahead and call this the end of the episode because we're probably going to cut this into two. Bear with us, guys. We're kind of testing things out, figuring out we're going to forget it to set it up.
Yeah.
So if this rolls into a whole video, great. If there's a cut here, you know where to follow us. BNS_radio. On YouTube, we are BNS_radio still.
Yes, on YouTube. Yeah, search that. I think we already have one video from the ACFT stuff we did. So we already have a video. Check it out.
You'll find us there. It'll be good. We'll be posting there consistently. The time frames will be kind of screwy for a little bit while we figure out what we're doing. But we're very excited about it, and we look forward to sharing that with you. So if this is the end of the episode, check it out. We'll see you again later this week.
Catch you on the next one.
Oh, I fell asleep.